Welcome to the Soulful Marriage Conversations podcast. I am Elvie Riggins, founder of the 90-Day Marriage Plan, host of Marriages That Matters live talk show, life and relationship coach and author. Each week, I will bring you a guest, a thought, or deliver a conversation on hot topics and talks about the reality of real-life marriage experiences that will help you understand the truth about what it really takes to build successful relationships, so you can overcome your feeling of being alone, eliminate the fear of a failing relationship with your partner to experience a happier life and relationship. We don't have to live our lives unhappy in relationships. Instead, we choose to tap into our intuition and make the powerful choices to mirror our vision and become the solution for change to produce loving, supportive relationship in our lives. Get ready to have soulful marriage conversations. Let's go.
Well, you know it. It's the new day for a new season, a new thought, a new everything. Today is just a great day, you guys. This is the Soulful Marriage Conversations podcast. Your host, Elvie Riggins. I thank you for joining me here. I really appreciate you all today because I'm just coming with a new perspective as I think about the topic of conversation today. I'm thinking about what's important for you guys. What is something that you all need to know that will help you in your relationship today? And as I thought about it, I thought about, what were some mistakes that I made? What were some things that I had aha moments that will help you in turn to create your own aha moment, or even to learn what you can do differently about your marriage or situation that you're experiencing today. So before we get into the topic, I just want to encourage you all to know that Soulful Marriage Conversation Podcast is a podcast for women that want to create change in their relationship. They're spiritual, introverted, entrepreneur women, married women that feel alone or have a fear of a failing relationship with their partner. And you want to become the solution for change to produce a loving and supportive relationship in your life. Well, I want to first congratulate you because you have come in contact with someone that is willing to do the work, willing to take the time out to just really think about what's best for not only myself, but also the individual that is on the other playing part of this situation. And the reason why I say this is because you have to not only look at the other individual, but you first must look at yourself. And that's what I teach you as women, how to look at yourself first, because we look at what we're going through and we always want to look to the other person. But I want to encourage you to go within. I teach you as women how to connect deeply with yourselves and with your partners. Make the powerful choices to create the positive changes that you want in your relationship and in your life. So I want to open up an opportunity for you today to let you know that if you want to join me into a private conversation, that you can do so if you go to bit.ly/reclaim your marriage. Again, bit.ly/reclaim your marriage. You will have an opportunity to join me in a private conversation. We'll have a 30-minute conversation where we can go through any specific topics or areas of need that you may have in your relationship that you may be struggling with. So that is a 30-minute free strategy call with me that you can do if you go to bit.ly/reclaim your marriage. I'll be more than happy to have a conversation with you, but you have to send me that request and you will be able to see the times available for us to have that conversation. So without further ado, let's go ahead and have this conversation this morning about the topic. And the topic is so real for me because it was part of who I am, what I did, what I experienced in my own personal relationship. And I'm going to share it with you today. And the topic of this podcast, episode number 6, is all about one of my biggest mistakes that I made in my marriage that kept me from actually experiencing true happiness. And it's just one of many. So let's be clear. That wasn't just the only thing, but this is one of the top things that I felt like kept me from experiencing happiness in my marriage. So the topic today is the number one thing that one of the top things that kept me from experiencing happiness in my marriage. The top biggest mistake that I made in my marriage that kept me from experiencing happiness was detaching from the feelings that I wanted to feel in my marriage, in my life, in my relationship. Everything was about the feeling. I realized that I had disconnected myself from the way I truly wanted to feel in my relationship, in my life, in my marriage. In every area of my life, I lost sight of how I wanted to feel. And instead, I allowed my situations to dictate the way I felt. And instead of me controlling and intentionally creating those feelings the way I wanted to feel, I allowed my situations to dictate the way I felt day to day, every day in my relationship and in my life. And that hindered me. That hindered me so much to the point that I lived in a fog. I lived under a dark cloud every day for several months in my relationship. And it caused me a great deal. It caused me a lot of unhappiness. It caused me a lot of, just a lot of depression. It caused me a lot of fear. It caused me to be alone in my relationship because I was detached from actually showing up in my relationship the way I needed to show up because I was so focused on my problem. I was focusing on what I was experiencing, how I was feeling, that I failed to connect deeply to what I wanted to feel like every day in order to truly be happy in my relationship. And that's what I want to encourage you guys to do, is to stop allowing your situations, your problems to dictate how you want to feel and create your own feeling in your relationship. Create it for yourself. Create your own feeling that you want to have in your relationship for yourself. Do not allow, and I say again, do not allow your situations, your circumstances to determine how you're going to feel in your relationship, in your life, in your marriage, on your job, wherever. Because sometimes we can take things that we experience in our relationship on our jobs. We can take it when we're out with friends. We take it with us, but it would deter us from having that great experience that we want to have in our everyday, day-to-day lives. So how do we fix this? How do we stop allowing ourselves to attach ourselves to our situations, our circumstances, and instead feel the way we desire to feel in our relationship, in our lives, when we interact with other individuals? Number one is you have to set intentions. You have to set daily intentions at the moment when you get out of bed. Already have an intention set. My intention for every day is to get out of the bed and say, thank you, God, for this beautiful day. Thank God for the day that He has created. Thank God for my life, my health, and my strength, and my family. So I begin with a spirit of thoughtfulness, but also a spirit of gratitude. To be thankful that I even woke up that morning. To be thankful that I have an opportunity to even present myself on this new day. So that would be the first step, is to set an intention, a daily intention. When you set a daily intention, it already puts you in the mood. It already positions you to think about what actions you need to take. And when you have an intention, a daily intention, and you are motivated That's why your intentions need to be positive, gratitude, thankfulness, appreciation, things to that nature. It will help you to be in a better mood. The second thing that I would suggest you do is to connect with yourself deeply and acknowledge what you're already feeling. What are you feeling at this moment? What are you feeling? And rid yourself of those feelings. The only way you can actually rid yourself is that you got to be aware of what it is that you're already feeling. So connect deeply with yourself by going within, taking some quiet time, a 5-minute break of just going deep, going within, getting quiet, journaling, or meditating. It's your choice, but find an outlet where you can really connect with yourself and see how you're feeling, not even in your, just your senses, but go within in your body and see even how your body, are you nervous? Are you irritated? Are you congested? When I mean congested, not cold congested, but are you conflicted in within? But just go within and find out, how do I feel? How do I truly feel today about my relationship, about my life? And if there's something inside of you that you feel that I'm irritated or I'm upset, then you need to feel those feelings, but also you need to evolve from those feelings, because those feelings, they keep you stuck. You don't want to feel upset. You want to acknowledge that you are upset, but you want to easily and quickly move from that positioning so that you can feel the way you want to feel. You want to feel good, right? You want to feel positive. You want to feel motivated. You want to feel loved. You want to feel appreciated. You have to give that to yourself. You have to give yourself permission to feel empowered, to feel grateful, to feel appreciated, to feel charitable. That's what you have to feel every single day in order for you to be able to connect with that feeling that you want. You got to make yourself aware of it, feel your way through it, and evolve to something that you really want to feel. It's okay to have the feelings that you feel every day. It's okay to be upset with your husband. If your husband did something that made you upset, it's okay to be upset at the moment, but don't stay there. We have our feelings for a reason. They're there to alarm us. They're there to protect us, because that's generally, if it's something that we come in contact with and we're not used to it, then of course we need some type of alarm system in our bodies to be able to let us know, like, hey, this is something strange, this is something different. But allow yourself the permission to evolve from that place and not to stay in that place. And then thirdly, once you're able to connect deeply within, then you set the intentions of the strategies, the plans that you need to do in order to continue therein. Continue therein. Not just at that moment, but how are you going to role play this out every day, all day, to the feeling that you want to feel? And how does that make your relationship, your marriage, better for you? It's because when your attitude is better, when you're faced with a challenge or a situation, you're going to be able to tackle that in a much positive way than you would if you were not intentional or not prepared or not even aware of how you're feeling and how you want to feel. So that now that you know that you can plan your way through every day by setting intentions, you can feel better. You can plan to feel better every day. And not saying that this is going to eliminate the bad things, the bad experiences, but you're going to be able to tackle those experiences and be aware that you know how you want to feel. And when you start feeling otherwise, you'll know exactly what you need to do to get you back in alignment to the way you want to feel. So those are the 3 things I would say. You set some intentions, number 1. Number 2, you get up with an attitude that can help you connect to the things that you want to feel in the morning. Grateful, appreciated. Set some intentions of how are you going to wake up in the morning. And then how are you going to connect with yourself? Are you going to journal about your feelings, about how you want to feel? Are you going to journal about how grateful you are? Or are you going to meditate? Are you just going to get quiet with yourself and just really think about how you what's currently on your mind, and clear those things out by simply just getting quiet and going deep within and feeling what it is that you feel in your body to evolve from where you are currently to something better? And then what's your plan? How are you going to create that every day, all day for you? So what is it that you need to do in order for you to feel that way every day, all day long? So that's where the plan and the strategy come in place. And once you understand, what do I need to do in order for me to be able to be aware of my feelings, be aware of the things that I'm experiencing every day to help me feel better in my relationship? And that's what I did. I woke up and I realized that I was not feeling as though I was connected to myself, number one. And I realized that I felt like a dark cloud was following me each and every day that I woke up. I just felt like everything was about a problem. I felt totally detached from joy and peace and happiness that I wanted in my life and my relationship. And so I had to start looking at, well, what am I feeling? Where am I lost at? And I realized I was just paying so much close attention to my problem, and it created that feeling that I did not want to feel or to have in my life. And as I began to just really examine, okay, well, what do I want? And I realized that I needed to start thinking about other things other than my problem, and that would help me solve my problem. So that's when the strategy started, where I began to plan out, well, how am I going to show up every day, all day? I journaled. I began to write out what things, I really just started writing out what things do I want to do in my life. And I began to play that out full-heartedly. The things that I truly wanted to do, I began to say, you know what, this is what I want. This is what I want to do, and this is how it makes me feel. And when I began to attach myself to that, I began to feel a lot better. I began to feel a lot freer. I began to feel happier. And it was just like a matter of me just owning that. And when I began to own that, things just started changing. The problems I was having, it didn't really matter as much. They didn't affect me as much. I began to just feel differently, and my problem began to look smaller, and my happiness was much fuller. So I just have to encourage you that you need to look at, where are you missing connecting to what it is that you want to feel and how you want to feel, what it is that you want to feel like every day, and understanding how you need to connect with that. It's so easy that we can allow, okay, I'm having an argument today with my partner, and I feel like crap, and we've been arguing for the last 5 or 6 days, and I feel like crap, and I feel like it's just frustrated me. I feel stressed. I feel overwhelmed. Of course you're going to feel stressed and overwhelmed if you keep focusing on stress and overwhelmed. But how do you really want to feel? That's what you need to really connect with. And when the moment I did that for myself, everything in my life began to change. I began to feel happier. I began to feel freer. I began to feel connected to my own personal self. Not just to my partner in my relationship, but I was first connected to me. And when I began to connect with myself, I began to feel happier in my life and in my relationship, because I could come from a place of making free choices, powerful choices, and felt more empowered and more in control of my own destiny. because I was not allowing my problems to control me. I was in control of my own problems. They were not controlling me. And that's what I would suggest that you take a look at in your own relationship and find out, what are you allowing to control you in your relationship today? What do you need to change about the way you're feeling? And what are the right feelings that you need to have? Maybe you don't know what kind of feelings you should be feeling. Well, I would hope you know, but maybe you don't. And if you don't, that's okay, because we all need to learn. What do we need to feel? The feelings that you want to feel are the positive feelings that give you the motivation to do the right thing, to make the right choices, to feel empowered. I wouldn't feel empowered if I was making bad choices that were making me feel unhappy, disconnected, or even doing things that were vindictive, things to that nature. I wouldn't suggest you do that, but what I would suggest you do is that you connect with doing the right thing, doing what makes sense for you, not something that's going to challenge you, but do the things that really make you feel good about who you are and how you're showing up. And I guarantee you'll start feeling better every day that you wake up, and you start thinking from that place of gratitude, thankfulness, appreciation, journaling, meditating, taking that 5, 10 minutes, 20 minutes if you can. How many? It's not about the length. Let's not really think about it's about the length of time that you need. But really what it is about, it's about what is it going to take for you to disconnect from the problems and the negative feelings that you feel, to evolve into positive feelings and positive thoughts. So if it means for you to write out your day-to-day and get all of the negative out on pen and paper, or to meditate and just think about letting go of the negative, or if you need to just take a walk every day and just have a conversation with the Lord and just talk to Him about what you're feeling. I feel like a good outlet is to really let it out and explore where it takes you. Because when I begin to let it out and let it go, my way of allowing things to release from within was that I had to get it out. And the way I did it was through pen and paper, and also it was through conversation. So you find that magic place for you that will take you there. And you apply that to your life and your relationship, and you will see a lot of things change. I guarantee you will, because if you don't allow yourself to let go from that attachment, you will continue to stay in that place where you feel disconnected from the true feelings that you want. And those true feelings that you want will show you a place of peace. But it also will show your partner that there's something magnificent happening within the inside of you that has taken you from the place that you were to a place that he really will admire. Because when you begin to really love yourself and begin to care for yourself and really connecting to your feelings, the true feelings that you want to feel, that is a sense of love that you have for yourself. And when you begin to cater to the love that you want to have for yourself by catering to the needs that you have, it's going to show your partner that you are changing, but he's going to see something different within you that's going to really attract him to you. And that's what it's all about, ladies. It's not about staying stuck in our own feelings, about the depression, the stress that we have in our lives. It's really about connecting to something deeper within ourselves to feel happier and peaceful in the midst of our challenges. And when we feel that way, we'll disconnect ourselves from the challenges, and we'll therefore be more focusing on positive solutions and outcomes. And they won't even begin to see the discomfort anymore, the stress, the disconnect, because you will not be reacting, but you'll be more proactive in the way you handle challenges, the way you will show up in conversations or disagreements with your partner. And I guarantee you'll see a tremendous change. So I want to challenge you today to come from that place. Try those 3 steps, see how they work for you, and give me a comment. Let me know exactly what you think happened to you in this, this little trial. And come back on here and give me a comment and review the show. And if you have not subscribed, please go ahead and subscribe to this podcast, because I need to hear from you. I want to hear from you because I want to know, how are you doing and what kind of topics and conversations you would like to hear more from this podcast. So I just thank you for joining me here. And I hope that if you would like to join me in a conversation, that you will go ahead and go to bit.ly/reclaim your marriage, so that we can connect in a 30-minute strategy session to help you take back your marriage. Let's reclaim what we have lost. If there's a loss in communication, a loss in emotional support, whatever it is, let's connect. And be sure to subscribe, rate, and review. See you on the next episode of Soulful Marriage Conversations Podcast.